Hello and welcome to Health and Beauty Hacks. I'm your host, Mia Sines. And in this episode, I'm really excited to introduce you to not only one of my bestie sisters, one of my healers, but one of the most magical energy masters I've met. I've met several, and she's brilliant. So I'd like you to meet Angela Gower-Johnson. Hi, Angela.
Hello, lovely.
It's so good to have you on the show. You know how important healing is. You and I have been on many journeys together over the years, and I'm really excited because you not only are you incredibly gifted with energy, but you bring some of the practical things into the mix, which are really important to help sustain us and move us forward. And it's like a hack. So would you like to share with us a little bit about how you got into this brilliant world that you're in of energy and holistic wellness and all the goodies?
Okay, well, growing up, I had a really sort of contrast-based life. But at the same time, so there was a lot of upset, a lot of drama, a lot about trauma, pain, abuse. But there is also a lot of love and a lot of belief in prayer and God and religion. So I took to religion like a duck to water, really. It was my safety. And I transitioned from that to Buddhism really, really easily because it felt like it had all of the pieces for me when I was 18. And from there, I was able to do a magical spiritual journey, which I talk about a lot of times, but I have so much to share with you. I'm just going to speed through it and say that I spent, 3 to 4 hours a day. I think it was 4 hours a day for 9 months finding what I really needed after Buddhism, because I was being able to read people's energies more. I was getting messages from people's spirits. I was getting messages from people's spirit guides, and I needed support. So anyway, I found a group that was mostly Native Americans. That was run by a Native American medicine man, and we shared a lot of information, and I spent 10 years intensively training in healing the Native American way. I also, before that, trained in different healing modalities, like becoming a Reiki master, trained in deep tissue and sports injury massage, aromatherapy, reflexology, numerology, all sorts of things. So I've got a whole bunch of holistic physical tools that I trained in under my belt, but the biggest thing is the personal and spiritual development, because I've gone on to do more training. I trained intensively with Richard Bandler, training in NLP and learning the shamanics behind NLP from him. And most recently, I started studying nutrition and diet and different ways of eating and some supplements to contribute to better health, because people around me were really suffering with pain or different issues. So I've had some gastric issues, and there's things that I do to support that. I've also had a car accident last year, and I've got a syndrome called post-concussion syndrome, and I have a way that I'm dealing with that. So I'm really excited to share all of this with you.
Lovely. One of the most powerful things that I've learned from you, being your friend, being, you working on me, with me, and the whole gamut of our relationship, is your intense, it's not intense in a bad way, intense, beautiful focus on keeping our mind clear. And I'm sure that has originally came from your Buddhist roots. I learned that I have to do that in order to remove the monkey mind and keep moving. And so that was one of the major things that helped me shift years ago with you was that process. Can we talk a little bit about that? Because if you don't have a mindset, everyone, it's really difficult to get through your healings holistically. We can do whatever we want, like take all the stuff, but if we don't have the clarity of what we're doing, if we don't have the mindset to keep us in that positive, upright healing mode, it's not going to work as well as when you're, working with yourself on your mindset. That's the steroid or the quantum leaping part.
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot more effective, and you definitely don't have to buy as many supplements or invest as much time and energy. Mia, your video's gone. I don't know if you know or not.
We're okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. So mindset is just really important. I think the most important thing to know is that if you can get into an active meditative state, so the first meditative state is alpha, you are right then and there being in a place that your body can now self-heal. So when you're doing that monkey mind that you were talking about, Mia, what happens is your body gets a bit stressed and it's feeling whatever it is that, is going on. So if you're emotionally stressed, your body gets emotionally stressed, and it's the antithesis of healing. So as soon as you get into alpha brain state, which is the first place of meditation, your body starts to self-heal. So every night when you go to sleep, you go deeper than alpha. So that's a place for your body to heal, but your body needs even more than that. It needs your support by you feeling good, you feeling safe, you feeling comfortable. And you can do that by getting into an active meditative state. And there's so many ways that you can do it. The most powerful way that I teach to do it is by doing a grounding practice. It's a Native American grounding practice. It slows down your mind. It starts getting you functioning from your spirit or subconscious, and it gets you right into alpha. But there's other things that you can do. Anything that is active and very the same will get you into that. Even just finding some songs that you love, or one song that you love, and singing out loud and putting your focus onto it will get you into alpha. Being out in an expanse of nature and using all of your peripheral vision, that's going to get you into alpha as well. And even if you're at work, like maybe you have like a cubby hole or something that you work at, or you're just in a small environment or a small office, if you can just get yourself into wide angle vision, so you're just trying to see in the peripheral, you don't have any focus, it's very diffuse focus, then you're in alpha. It just puts you right into alpha.
That's beautiful. I remember one of the first things you taught me years ago was you never want to be in beta, land of the living dead, according to
That's it.
American, and you always want to be in alpha or above. So I love that. It's beautiful. And for anyone to be able to experience working with you is pretty magical. And so I encourage anyone to set up an appointment. And the reason I'm saying this, everyone, is because out of when you know that you're a healer, like myself, I'm a healer, and you know that you have healing to do, you want to go to someone that actually can slice it up. That's the hack. They can move you through really fast. So that's why I say this about Angela. She's amazing. Now let's move into another aspect of healing that you have found really, really positive, and that is CBD. So will you share with us that?
Okay, I do not know the science behind this completely. I believe it's cannabinoids are what our cells naturally have a receptor for. So it's almost like there's the molecules in CBD oil is like the key that fits into the lock of our cells. And it's just across the board, very, very healing. If you need support with sleeping better, or for arthritic pain, or any kind of pain at all, it is brilliant. So it's also really good for calming the mind. It's really good for getting rid of stress, anxiety. And it fits. It's almost like our bodies were designed to consume it. It's really important that when you're getting a CBD oil, though, that you do your research. You want to find a company that does it really, really well, because not all CBD oils are the same. I'm lucky enough to have a former client who is a manufacturer of it, and he studied CBD for a good 5 years before he started making it, and it's made to his own formula. So I know that I'm getting the best CBD oil there is. It is going to be a little bit pricier if you buy it, a good quality one, than say you went to your local pharmacy and got one, but I wouldn't recommend that you get a cheap one. It's fine to get a good priced one if you know what the formulation is and you know that it's a good one. But please don't buy one at, your local chemist or pharmacy and try it and think, oh God, it doesn't work at all, because it probably won't be that effective. And you do need to give it a good 3 weeks for it to start getting into your system and working and starting to reduce the pain or the anxiety. And it just also, it's brilliant at either hiding your emotional trauma and memories or just erasing them. It's different with everyone, but there's a really amazing thing that it does in your mind where it just calms and soothes everything down. And one of the things that it does is those negative stories that you kind of bring up, or the negative memories, it either starts making it so much harder for your logical mind to access them and brings them up, or it just literally deletes them. So that's one of the most brilliant things about it.
CBD is really a very powerful tool. I've been using it for animals for the last 2 or 3 years. And I've also used it on myself when I've had, like an infection that I was trying to heal, or pain. I take mine with a little THC in it to activate the CBD. You can get them, at least in the United States. Angela's in England. You can get them in the United States, obviously, in the medical dispensaries here in the U.S. So, and you generally have to have either, some states are open, green, and some you have to have the medical cards. So look into it because it's fabulous. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would recommend highly, if you can get it with even the most minimal amount of THC, that you use it that way. If you can have more THC and it works for you, that would be great. The idea would be that you take it last thing at night or 30 minutes before you go to sleep, and you just sleep. It's not about, getting high or, zoning out in life or whatever. It really is used for healing. And, there's a lot of research being done now for things like cancer. It really, really works to help people to get into remission, as well as, helping the pain. And you want to, if you're going through something really big, like if there's a really big issue that you have, like Parkinson's or cancer, then you really want to find a CBD that's equal amount CBD and THC. If you're just taking it for the anxiety or to just promote better sleep or to help push back some of that negativity and allow you to be calmer and positive, then you want a CBD that has the most minimal amount of THC. You can have CBD that is THC free, but from the research that my former client Brian has done, it's not nearly as effective. It's a pale comparison to what it is if you have like, something like 0.2% of the THC in it. It makes all the difference.
It does. It's like turmeric needs black pepper to activate it. It doesn't need a lot, just needs a little black pepper in there. So it's fabulous to know those little hacks right there, right?
Yeah.
Lovely. Awesome. Now you've also studied, and the reason I think that this is important is because 3 times in my life, I've been on the exit door. And well, more than that, but literally the last 12 years when it's happened, I changed the way I eat structurally. Now I guess I'll never go off again, but I changed to a very clean eating or a specific type of way of eating, and it has supported me in getting healthier. And I never eat unhealthily. It's just sometimes the stuff that we grab, or restaurants don't have the cleanest of food. And so food is very important to our body. I know that you've been studying a lot, and there's different methods of different food sources, but I would really love you to share, because I've watched you over the years really love nutrition and really get into it. And so let's talk about that for a little bit.
Okay, great. Well, because of the gastric issues that I had, I was studying I was studying nutrition and trying to find something that was going to help me because I didn't want to take drugs to alleviate the symptoms. I wanted to kind of cure the cause. And what I found was having an ancestral diet, which is also called paleo, really, really helped me. So in a nutshell, that's just not processed foods. I was having things like cheeses, which are processed, but I was looking for things that were just less processed. Like I wouldn't have had Velveeta, although I miss it and love it because I am American and they have nothing like that here. That would just not be a staple part of my diet. I would be looking at something that was a lot more natural, that didn't have food additives in it. And from there, I went to Weston A. Price. And I think Weston A. Price is really more of my go-to diet. And I combine that with the keto diet, which the keto diet is basically paleo, but without any of the sugar that you're allowed, like the natural sugar, like maple syrup that you're allowed in the paleo. Weston A. Price is amazing. If you're looking to build up your nutrition, your gut health, to just have the healthiest body that you can have, or have the healthiest children you can have, I highly, highly recommend Weston A. Price diet. And the best book that you could get is called Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon. It's almost like my Bible. It's my food Bible. And the thing with the Weston A. Price that's different from paleo is that it does have dairy products in it, but you're looking for dairy products that are more raw, more natural, and that just give your body the vitamins and the nutrition that it needs. And it's also really, really big on fermentation. So at any given time in my kitchen, there'll be something in there fermenting. So I make lacto-fermented vegetables, I make kombucha, and I have something fermented almost every day. The other thing that I do apart from that, and that I absolutely love and has made a huge difference to my brain with the injury that I have, is intermittent fasting. So the clean eating, which for me would be a combination of keto and Western enterprise, and then intermittent fasting is phenomenal. I've combined that obviously with the CBD with a little bit of THC, and it has been tremendous at getting rid of a lot of the symptoms that I had. It's definitely gotten rid of any gastric issues that I have, and at times I become a little bit complacent, and I will go out with friends and I'll eat things that I normally wouldn't eat, like cake or something sugary. And it's harder for me then to get back into that healthy eating because carbs are addictive. So if you didn't know this, sugar is more addictive than heroin or cocaine. Scientists have done studies with mice, and they can be addicted to both things, and they will go for the sugar before they go for the heroin or cocaine. It really is like a drug, and your body actually doesn't really need it. I know that your brain needs glucose, but it can make it from different things, and you don't need to have it from sugar. So I cannot tell you how much focus I have gotten in, the ability to have clarity, the lack of monkey mind, and your body can also self-heal when you do a longer fast. And you can do fasting for any length of time over 16 hours is going to be so beneficial to your body. I use an app, I think it's called Life Fasting, and it will tell you the different stages that you're going through. But for me, my target is to get into what's called autophagy at least once every 3 months. And that's kind of like where your body defrags. So if you are a little bit my age and Mia's age and have had a PC, you will be familiar with that term. It's just a way of, eliminating the cells that are not working, that aren't functioning, that are close to death, that are deformed, and just turning them into something different. It's cleaning out all of those defunct cells and making your body function in a much better way. And there's a lot of studies that are being done at the moment to do with keto, autophagy, with the intermittent fasting, and COVID, because COVID's like a really big thing at the moment. A lot of people are still really scared and worried about it. But what the research is showing is that that virus is actually eating and feeding and growing off of sugar. So if you can get into intermittent fasting or into keto and eliminate the sugar, you're going to have a much better time and experience less of the symptoms, because you're giving your body a huge fighting chance to fight something off.
I find it fascinating because with disease, depending on what it is, you can tolerate a specific amount of protein. So the kind that I'm dealing with right now, the type of cancer that I'm doing, I can't have protein. I do have eggs and I have salmon every so often, but I'm not allowed to have chicken and beef. And the one thing, and I'm very clean, I just eat a specific amount of vegetables, literally, that are in the broccoli family, the really high greens, and my protein and water, and I also have some protein shakes with, and I take, sorry, I'm like so excited here. And I also take the, I make my own yogurt to take for my tum-tum, to help the, and what is it? The probiotics to help the gut health. But I find it very interesting that, so I test my blood daily, my blood elevation sugar levels. And I know that when I personally eat beef or chicken, my blood sugar's high, a lot higher. So it's very interesting. So I love that you've done this. I've watched you over the years heal yourself and get healthy. I think it's fabulous. I also think that some people with serious disease needs to just be look into what type of proteins you need to have. And they also have, as you shared with me and as my natural oncologist did, they also have a keto program for people with cancer. So
Yeah.
it's a metabolic diet. So there's a lot for you to choose. And I just love the fact that Angela's gone on this journey years ago and has continued it. And it's really beautiful. So guess what you have for the audience? You have a free gift, don't you?
Yes, well, I have my Manifestation Mastery ebook, and it just takes you through the steps that I teach my clients to troubleshoot getting out of beta and into alpha, and mastering getting and staying in alpha, and then everything else. There's so many different things in there. There's how to become addicted to success, how to get rid of trauma and drama in your life, how to make your spirit, your subconscious, the leading factor in your life instead of your logical mind, which has a tendency to be criticizing and negative and doubtful. And that is my gift.
I love it. I love it. And anything Angela does, I love. So get it, check it out and enjoy it. And Angela, it was really wonderful to have you. Is there anything you'd like to share with the audience before we say goodbye? I mean, you've shared a lot, but what's on your heart right now?
Well, I think it's just really important that you really embrace and acknowledge how powerful mindset is and how powerful it is to feel good within yourself. I used to have a lot of things that were kind of wrong with me, or just a lot of body things, illnesses, sicknesses, like constant headaches. And what I found, and also getting really bad flus and colds, like really bad ones. And I found that the more I got into personal and spiritual development, the more calm I got, the more happy I became, the less ill I was. I'm not saying that I'm absolutely free of anything, because that's not the case. But what I do know is that I've got a handle on it, and I've got a really good handle on it because of my mindset, and I'm able to make the right choices for me. And I don't have to invest a small fortune in, a pharmacy or health food store, because I can eat well and feel good, and that is enough. So please know that the personal development, spiritual development aspect is so important. There's so many stories out there of people, dying or having, these incurable diseases that have absolutely switched this thing around. And it's due to mindset. And, this is why I know Mia is a victor already with what she's going through, because she has that. She has that positive mindset, and she has that tribe around her that's supporting her. So please, please know that regardless of what you're told or what you're experiencing, you can change this. And the first step is to start feeling good. And if you need support in that, then there's so many resources to help you. But that should be one of the first things you look at, is how you can feel better about yourself and how you can get the support that you need to have, faith and possibility, and to be the victor and to feel good.
It's really beautiful that you brought that up, because that really is the case. We can heal our bodies, and proof a couple weeks ago by ultrasound showed that I was already 50% healed, literally 50% reduced to the size of the tumor. So and now we're several weeks, even beyond that. So know that there is transformation in your body. There is healing. And it's a choice. It's literally a choice. I'm so glad you brought that up, because we know this to be true, but unless somebody hears it and goes on their own interpersonal journey, they're not going to discover some of the magic that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And each journey is so unique and so beautiful. So if you guys are saying, oh, well, I don't have a journey like that, I can't have a journey like that, you know what? You can. You can do whatever you need to do, and it's awesome. So thank you all.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Angela, again. It was beautiful to have you.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you, and we love you, audience. And we'll see you in another episode of Health and Beauty Hacks with Mia.